everyone, welcome back to my channel and welcome back to the Pixie Palace. And today we are back for another weekly Oracle card reading for November 21st, 2021. And my apologies for getting this video up a little bit late. I kind of ran behind a little bit on the videos. I've been editing a lot of content I already have, but eventually you got to start making more as well. So trying to get that balance down last week was a little bit of a struggle, but I am catching up and wanted to do this video for you guys to start off your week right. And with my coffee in tow, which I have to have, I don't care how spiritual you are. Also, just to let you know, I'm communicating on my YouTube channel a lot through the community tab. As most of you know who are content creators, we're all able to post on the community tab now where our viewers can actually see it. So if you ever want information on what's going on with the channel or any updates on my videos or even a little inspirational lift to the day, the community tab is always a good place to keep an eye on. And also I will be engaging with you guys a little bit more, maybe getting your opinions and your ideas for future content. I really want to get the community more involved and more engaged with each other, because this is not just my channel, this is your channel as well. We're going to get into it with Oracle of the Fairies by Karen K. Excuse the glare here. And I'm not doing a 2-card thing this time. I'm going to do just a straight 1-card draw and elaborate from there. See what the universe has to say for us. I noticed a lot of us are still working through a lot of things in our inner work. And it's not always fun. It's not always lovely and exciting to do, or not even something we want to do half the time. But it is necessary, because once we get to the heart of things, really work on things and transmute that energy, it allows the new energy to come in, and that new energy will serve us so much better and make our lives a lot better. So I've been doing a little bit of that. I'm kind of coming to the tail end of it, feeling more in my alignment than I was, but I'm still working through a few things like that, as I'm sure you are as well. But there's also a lot of good things on the horizon, regardless of the time of year, regardless of what's going on in the outer world. This time of year is a bit challenging for some because it's the holidays. It's not always a happy time for everybody. So if you do know somebody who is struggling with that, please have an open heart and really make sure they know they're seen. Because they may not want to talk about it, they may not want to get into it, especially if they lost a loved one or went through a really difficult time during the holidays a while back. But just knowing that you actually see them and that you're there if they do need someone to talk to, or just have someone in their corner. Sometimes that in itself is enough. So let's see what the energy has to say for us, and yeah, we'll go from there. So as usual, I did shuffle the card even before I turned on the record button, but I'm going to shuffle a little bit more. There's different ways to clear the energy. I basically do it different ways depending on my mood. I'll sometimes wave it over a candle, sometimes I'll knock on it, sometimes I'll just pray over it. There's a lot of different ways. It's whatever resonates for you if you practice cards as well. So all right. Okay, the energy's not too bad. Kind of, a lot of cards kind of want to jump out, so I'm trying to control the energy a little bit. So, all right. All right, let's see what the universe has to say. Okay. Oh, wow, interesting. Okay, and again, excuse the glare on the card. As usual, I'll have a screenshot so you guys can see what it says. Lost and found. And there's you notice it's like dark and light, the yin and yang. It's interesting. And it says, what was once lost is about to be found, thanks to the lost and found fairy. Sometimes she can help us find things we never even realized were lost. And this is really interesting because it makes me think automatically of ourselves, because a lot of us are doing the inner work right now, and we are really rediscovering parts of ourselves that we might not have realized we lost. We have become so conditioned in today's society on how to think and what belief systems we should have, and how to do certain things a certain way, or you're not accepted in society in general. It's really, really interesting, because the more and more I'm doing my own inner work, the more and more I'm seeing in the outside world that it really truly is a matrix we're living in. It's an illusion. And when we do the inner work, when we start rediscovering who we really are, we start noticing that the outer world is starting to crumble. It's actually starting to take on a new form. Now, right now, there's basically, I'm trying to word it carefully, but it's kind of a spiritual war right now, because there's a lot of inner struggle. There's a lot of struggle with the outside world. There's a lot of turmoil, but there's also a lot of good too. There's a lot of good that's coming from this. Sometimes we have to look a little harder for it, but it's worth it. There's always light in the world. We all have a light to shine out there. And when we start working on ourselves and becoming better versions of ourselves, and really not denying who we truly are, we start shining that light a little brighter, and it starts having an effect on our outside reality. Because remember, I always said in my videos, inner reality always reflects in the outer reality. If you meet someone you have a difficulty with, that's usually a reflection of something you're struggling with. If there's someone you're really in sync with and that you truly connect with, that's also a reflection. Everything we encounter, everything we see, and everything we interact with is a reflection of who we are. And it doesn't mean that, you see something horrific in the world that we're a reflection of that. But it does make us look at our own selves and what things we need to work on, so we are not spreading more darkness in the world. And when we find those lost parts of ourselves, we can go forward in our path and actually positively impact other people, because it's all a ripple effect. Everything we do, everything we say, everything we think has an effect in this reality. So as we do the work, there also, it can be the other way around. There's some things we might want to lose. We might want to cut off things that no longer serve us, that really create no value in our lives, and we're actually losing those things. And in letting go of old energy that no longer serves us, we rediscover and find ourselves. It's a kind of a paradigm, in a way, if you will. And I've noticed that a lot lately. And the more we work on ourselves, the more we can really change this world for the better. And a lot of us ask, oh, well, how am I changing the world? I'm just working on myself. I'm not affecting anything. In actuality, you are. Okay, my cat's really hungry, apparently. I hear him crackling and popping over there. I digress. But when you find yourself, you've realized the potential you have. You realize how much more capable you really are. We push past those limitations. We push past the naysayers that tell us what we should be doing because they think we should be doing a certain thing. We should be a certain way because it makes them more comfortable. No, that time is over. The time is now to be your authentic self, to find those parts of yourself after doing the work. We always need to do the work. It doesn't just drop in our lap. But when we rediscover our real selves, there is no limitation. There is nothing we can't do. So this fairy, and how fitting with the cat, I have a cat, she's maybe she lost her cat and she's finding her cat. That's the literal meaning in the card. But in that, that's a part of her. That's a reflection of her that she's finding. And it's a really beautiful thing. It may be a very tough process. And I've had a few good questions from some of my viewers who I care about very much. They're like, well, how do I apply all this? And it seems so easy. And yes, it does seem easy, especially when you're watching someone on a video saying how you should be doing certain things, or maybe giving you tips on how to do things. Yeah, it's hard, because I've been on your end. I have been there, and it's one of those things that you have to decide to take that first step. You have to decide to really work on yourself. You have to do one tiny little change, and then the next day maybe another little change, and then keep going. And after a while, you'll notice that things are changing for the better. Things snowball, and that's in itself, that's where you find other aspects of yourself. It's a really interesting process, and I have to remind myself of that, because sometimes I'll do some work and I'll get kind of lax in doing the work, and then I wonder why things start cropping up again. And it's kind of like, oh, okay, apparently I didn't finish my inner work. And that's what I've been doing a lot lately. That's why sometimes I'm kind of on and off with this channel, and it's not excusing it, but sometimes I'm really gung-ho on my content, and then I'm depleted, and I forget, oh, I do that. I don't find that happy medium where I'm putting out content but not burning myself out at both ends. So it's to give an example. So just keep doing the work. Remember, you're doing the best you can, and you will find aspects of yourself. You will find pockets of joy that you can bring into your life, but don't stop. Don't just do the work one day and then stop. It's a continual process. But I would tell you right now, compared to how I was a few years ago, I'm very glad I did the work, and you will be glad you did the work as well. So lost and found, that's a very, very loaded message. Take whatever resonates with you, discard the rest. But I know you have the power to change things that you no longer resonate with. You will find your power. Take your power back. Don't just listen to everybody else saying you can't do this, or you have no power. Do your own research. Do your own inner work, and always, always trust your intuition. If something doesn't seem right, like a cat behind you, then trust it. So I know I'm kind of a little everywhere, and I didn't edit too much in this video, but I'm feeling a lot of these messages are really important for whoever is watching this video. And remember, these messages are timeless. So whenever you drop onto this video, then it's meant for you. So yeah, that's the direction for this week. I hope it helped you a little bit in your own path. And just know that it will be a good week when you choose to make it a good week, and you make that conscious decision to keep working on yourself, keep bringing value out into the world, and just know that not everything is how it seems in the outer world. So with that, I hope you guys have a beautiful week. I love you all. Thank you so much for the support. And again, remember to keep your eye on the community tab here, as well as my Insta stories. I post a lot there as well. And yeah, I hope to see you next week. And until the next time, keep shining your light, know your worth, and remember you're unstoppable. To know yourself is to know your truth. Namaste.